always seem to get the time wrong. Time wrong, I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, hold on. A broken state, shaking the ground beneath, running from everything, seems to be the path I lead. And now I'm beating on the floor, wondering why I feel like a ticking time bomb. Time bomb, always seem to get the time wrong. Time wrong, I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, hold on. I took a shot on hoping I never change. I wonder why I'm always broken. Stuck in time just like I'm frozen, frozen. Now I'm slowly thinking, a product of overthinking again. Hold it in and change my breathing. Settle down and stop repeating amends. I feel like a ticking time bomb. Time bomb, always seem to get the time wrong. Time wrong, I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, hold on. I feel like a ticking time bomb.
I've not I've not calmed down. I don't know what I just watched. I'm so confused. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. I'm so perplexed. Please help me out. Please. Okay. Let's... Hello? Hello? Are you okay? Welcome to the Post-Mortem for Fulham 4, Manchester City 5. That is a scoreline that has happened in the year of our Lord 2025. Hello, by the way. How are we all doing? You're all right. Welcome. I'm like, I'm just, right. Okay. Right. I don't know how helpful this post-mortem is going to be honest, because normally I try to calmly dissect the game and say, well, this is what we did, and this is what worked, and this is what didn't work. And I'm going to try to do that today, but the problem is that... the game transpired in a manner that I can't even fathom what happened there. The closest feeling is, I guess, the final capitulation, but I thankfully... Okay, maybe we'll start it by saying that. Let's start, actually, by just saying we won. We did win. That's nice, of course. That's the first thing to say. It's nice that we got the 3 points, obviously. Thank God we did. That's good. Leave a like on the video, by the way. It's free. So let's maybe chat about the first half first, and then we'll take it from there, maybe. And we will do player ratings for everyone with the Fanalysis app, as always. I have no clue. what we're going to do. Yusuf, We need massive W's in the chat because Yusuf has joined as a hardcore ultra, which is the highest tier on this channel. Thank you so much, Yusuf, for that mad support for the channel, mate. Thank you so much. Love that from you. Welcome to the Ultras Club, my mate. Your random footballer is Yapstam, and could we have used him today? Perhaps. But thank you so much, mate. Welcome to the Hardcore Ultra Members Club, my mate. You are a beautiful human being. Big W's for that. Love that from you, Yusuf. Okay. Love that from you, mate. Love that from you. Enjoy your perks, and you'll be added to the Hall of Fame after this stream. Yeah, we won. That was nice, wasn't it? We are second in the table. We got the win. However, that is now 2 games in a row where it was like squeaky bum time up until the 90th minute for one reason or another. And let's be honest, the first half was really good. The first half was lovely, wasn't it? Foden, excellent. Haaland should have scored another goal, but hey, he was also really good as well. Doku, people weren't so sure on him. I felt that he was good. Got the assist for the opening goal. We were in control. We were at Donnarumma, great save. We were in control for the vast majority of the match. Fulham had that one shot which Don saved. And then there was that unfortunate situation with the corner. It is a glorious header by Smith Rowe. I will have to look back on it because I don't know whether someone else, like, should Nunes have cleared it earlier? I don't know. But ultimately, it was like a gorgeous finish by Smith Rowe. So the first half is great. First half was great, sorry. Big up to you, Puneet. Thank you so much for joining the membership. Love that from you, mate. Big W's for Puneet, please. You guys are very generous tonight. Thank you so much. Your random footballer, matey, is Wes Morgan. Wes Morgan. Love that. Oh, in fact, this is the second time, so that's probably a milestone, isn't it? Thank you so much, mate. Maybe we could not have used Wes Morgan. I don't know. Yeah, the first half. So the first half's great. Their goal is a fantastic finish, and that's what I was going to say. Fulham, before today, Fulham had only conceded 3 goals at Craven Cottage. So the first half, so we literally doubled how many goals they'd conceded, at home this season. And that's in all competitions, by the way. They'd only conceded 3 goals in 8 games at home this season before today, before that first half, indeed. So we doubled it. The first half, beautiful. I do not have a problem or a concern with that first half, obviously. Even the second half, so they made changes at half-time. They moved Iwobi off to the left. Oh, no, wait. No, they went more offensive, didn't they? They did the opposite. They moved Iwobi from the left to the centre. They brought on Chukwueze. It's a very attacking move, and they also brought on Castagna for Tete. Very, very offensive changes by Fulham, first and foremost. So you got a fair play to Marcus Silva for going for it and playing an offensive side. We did go 4-1 up, though, did we not? I've forgotten what minutes the goals were scored in, man. Yeah, we went 5-1 up, sorry. So, really good attack. That's what I forgot to say. Ryan has played well in that first half as well. That was really good. So good to see from him. Yeah, so Foden scored the goal. It's great work by Doku. Haaland, questionable whether he meant it. Let's be honest, he probably didn't. But we still take those. We still take the lovely back heel. It's a great finish from Foden. Carrying on the first half, carrying the second half, as he ended the first. And then Doku does get a fortunate goal. And it does count as an own goal, unfortunately. But he still forced it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Thank you so much, Indigo Moon. Everyone's been very generous tonight. Happy holidays. Yeah, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. If you don't, just happy holidays or whatever festivity you support. Happy Hanukkah and all of that good stuff. Absolutely, yeah. It is the holiday season. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to Christmas on another matter. Can we just talk about Christmas, guys? And 'tis the season for giving and to be jolly, yeah? No, we can't. Obviously not. 5-1. And that was in, what, the 54th minute? The game should be dead, guys. Fortune for Indigo Moon. Adjust finances, make budgets to improve your standing. Okay, some financial advice there. Yeah, a 5-1, you're clean sailing, aren't you? Now, there's so much to dissect here, and I don't want this to be like an over-analysis to a degree, and I can't because I'm going to have to rewatch the game. All of these things are true, however, and I think that the fact they all happened at the same time made it bizarre. So all of these things happen in that second half, and I guess also across the first half. We scored 5 goals. We still miss gilt-edged chances to score and make it 6, 7, 8 at times, which is mad. We did do the thing of being worse in the second half compared to the first half, and perhaps I'll try to offer some insight into why that's happened. But we still started it very strongly. All of Fulham's goals, apart from maybe one, were absolute bangers. Absolute bangers. They were absolute insane finishes. Just to double check, like the final stats from Opta, 4 goals from less than 1 expected goal is ridiculous. That's also something to bear in mind. That the finishes were obscene. Nearly every single one of them. That Iwobi one in particular, there is no chance of anyone stopping that at all. There's no chance that our midfielders can get out to him quicker. There is no chance that Donnarumma can save it. That is obscene as a finish. Thank you so much, Puneet, for the super chat, who says it's a systemic issue that we are suffering from. Perhaps it could be a thing. So yeah, the finishes were like insane. They were insane. That's an interesting point that Kazoo raises. This is just Opta, so you can say Opta's bollocks, whatever. But according to the data, Fulham had 1 big chance in that match. And that was the one at the end that they missed. You know, the one that evades Donnarumma and then Gvardiol has to clear it off the line. I'm assuming that's the big chance. I'm assuming. I might be wrong there, but I'd guess so, because it says they had 1 big chance and they missed it. And that one in the first half, I don't think counts as a big chance, the one that Donnarumma saved. So I think it must have been that one at the end. I think. Not 100% on that. That just goes to show how insane the finishing was, first of all. I think all of these things add together for it to be insane. And then I think what you do is, and this isn't me trying to excuse people, because I'm not saying that's the case. However, there is no doubt that City gave a lot of energy in that first half and at the start of the second half, and they were like clearly sapped by like this. I want to say the time that the 5th goal went in, and perhaps that's why the changes were made. They obviously have played a very tricky game against Leeds, physical wise, on the Saturday. They did look mentally and physically drained. Perhaps that's also something at play. Fulham also just went for it more so. They reserved their energy in the first half. They barely engaged in that many sprints or anything. They were really passive. Second half, they just went for it. So I think that's also an element at play. I think my conclusion is going to be that there is no one solution. It's not just a case of, oh, the system is broken, or, oh, this defender should have done better, or, oh, this goalkeeper should have done better, or this midfielder should have done better, etc., etc., etc. I think that there are many moving parts going on here, and I think that's what's making it so hard to dissect and have a proper conversation about. And I haven't even spoken about like the subs either. I haven't even spoken about the subs either, which clearly made City worse. And it is a concern. We can have the conversation about, and we will, about, you know, should he have taken off Nico? Should he have taken off this player? Should he have taken on that player? Should he have brought on that player? And of course, we will talk about all of that in due time. Don't you worry. At some point, though, if you are like if you're leading 5-1 in the game at some point, you have to, at some point, trust in your bench at some point. And it's worrying that seemingly, for some of those players anyway, I think there's one in particular, like John Stones, I thought it was really bad when he came on. It's concerning that we can't maybe rely on him to be like this defensive stalwart. He did do a good block towards the end, but I thought he was bad, Stones. I thought he was quite bad. So that's the thing to note as well. Lots of moving parts there that make it really tricky. So let's try to take it chronologically. and try to dissect what happened at what point. Maybe we'll do that. Perhaps. I'll repeat. We won, which is very lovely. And hopefully this isn't a pattern. But you get me. I didn't time you out, Real A007. I didn't time you out, matey. I don't time anyone out unless I say outright, and normally it's the mods that just do it. Let me just catch up on the chat, and then we'll try to take this chronologically. They were banger goals. What Fulham's big chance? Yeah, we touched on that. Love that from you, Yusuf. I've been watching you since last season. I think we won't win the league if we don't fix these issues. And thank you so much, mate, for supporting the channel. Love that from you. Why is everyone so negative? Yeah, and I will repeat that we did win. At the end of the day, we did win. But it's still worth talking about the really weird, bad things that happened in the match, in my opinion, because it's still worth talking about, absolutely. But we can't go too far the other way. Like, we did win, and we did. At the end of the day, we did win the game. Why are we so negative about being entertained? I didn't want to be entertained when that 5th goal went in. I wanted it to just be 5-1, nice and easy. You know what I mean? Especially when we're a couple goals up, we can't find the balance. Team are not going to be scared of us whatsoever. We capitulate even at 5-1. Hopefully this will not, in the same way that I hoped that the Feyenoord game last season would have told everyone that City's biggest concern is not offensive. It's not scoring goals. The biggest concern for City last season was a defensive one. It is the same here. It is the same here. Whether that's due to defenders or structure or midfield protection, that's up for debate. And we will debate that. A great performance by Phil. When we signed on, you made a video where his kicks from corners. Yeah. He was not good today from corners, unfortunately. He was poor for their 4th goal, in all honesty. Okay, Fez. I don't time anyone out. It's my mods who do that. I don't know if my heart can take another game like today's. Yeah, I just hard disagree. He was poor for that goal, I'll be very honest. He's got to be so much better there. Happy Clappers FC, says Margaret. I'm not a Happy Clapper personally, but absolutely, if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with it. Time for positivity. Fulham scored more Premier League goals than any Arsenal player this season. Oh, gosh. I am going to do player ratings, so I'll be able to talk more on the positives, because all the attackers, I can say, had a great, lovely time. Foden, great game. Haaland, great game. Doku, ultimately, great game as well. And we'll touch on that more so when we get to the individual player ratings and we're able to focus on them more in depth. But for now, let's try to chat about the chronology of the match. So what happened in the game? What actually happened? So we start the second half. We score within 3 minutes. Beautiful, beautiful stuff by Doku, Haaland, Foden. We love that, we really do. Really good play by Doku, who finds Haaland, who gets fortunate, and then Foden, nice finish with the weak foot, I believe. A few minutes later, 6 minutes later, in fact, Doku forces an own goal. You can say it's fortunate if you want, but at the end of the day, you miss 100% of the shots you do not take, and Doku forced that, so I'm willing to say that that is good by Doku. Okay. And it did feel like... Do I have like a momentum chart just to see if like I'm chatting bollocks or not? Obviously, Fulham are attacking a bit more. And it did feel... So that Iwobi goal went in. Iwobi goal went in, sorry. But that was another mad goal. I can't criticise how we set up for the Iwobi goal. That was obscene. There ain't nothing any City defender or midfielder can do. There ain't nothing that any... there's nothing that Donnarumma can do about that either. I don't have a problem with that. That's just ridiculous from Iwobi. And what was the fucking XG on that? 0.04. Okay. So it gets to 5-2. And that should have been the final score. 5-2 is a really good scoreline. They scored 2 wonder goals. You controlled the game. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And I felt that even in that second half, up and even like with the Iwobi goal, it sort of came against the run of play. And again, fantastic finish here. The finishing was obscene. Obscene from Iwobi. And then there is a very big spike in the momentum chart, essentially when Nico goes off. I've always liked the XG stat. I don't know about you, Noah. It's a very useful stat. Essentially, when Nico went off, that was when the problem, and maybe just a little bit before that, but that's when the problem started to properly begin. Perhaps it's a fitness issue. For City, conversely, Fulham had all of the running. But but clearly, we could all see the Stones came on, Nico came off, Doku also came off, Savio came on, and from there we did really lack in the midfield, and we really struggled to just have any of the possession and any of the ball. Any of the ball. Oh my God, guys. This is worse than Leeds. I think this is worse than Brentford. So the first half, we had around 50%, 51% of the ball. That's pretty good because Fulham are a build-up team. They're competent on the ball. So to have around 50% is good in the first half, and we dominated them, and they had very few chances. 34% in the second half. 34%. That is insanely shit. That is horrendous for a City side who are supposed to be a possession-based team. You saw it in the match. We could not sustain possession. We could not sustain attacks. We just could not get a foothold. We were like Fulham in the first half, actually. We just could not get a grip at all. So we can absolutely say that the finishing was lovely. Like, there was another lovely finish, wasn't there, from Chuck? That was it their third goal? Lovely finish again. Brilliant. But we just seceded territory far too easily. Unfortunately, I hate to say it again, the same. I suppose that clearly means that the same concern happened. We struggled to play out from the back. We struggled to retain possession in the midfield. Doesn't help if you don't have I mean, Nico's not a defensive midfielder, but you know what I mean. A defensive midfield option there either. And Fulham were finding it far too easy to play against us. They were finding it far too easy. I'll repeat, maybe it is just the fitness concern because we played a tough game against Leeds. Perhaps it is just the fact that Nico went off. Don't really get why Nico went off unless there was like an injury, but he seemed upset when he came off. At the same damn time, you're 5-3 up at that point in the 66th minute or whatever it was. You shouldn't be... Sorry, 5-2 up at that time. You should be able to take off Nico. So we can say, and I would say, you shouldn't be taking off Nico yet, because there's still like 30 minutes of football to be played. But you should be able to do that. And if you can't do that, then that is a massive concern for whoever filled his boots. And unfortunately, that would have been John Stones for those early encounters, I guess. Later in the match, it did go to like O'Reilly in midfield, I'm pretty sure, with Foden also in the midfield when Shirky came on. I think initially, I think Stones went to the midfield. I'm pretty sure. After rewatch it, heart rate, triple digits. I may well be wrong on that. But the fact that we are even saying, oh my gosh, look what happens when Nico comes off, that's bad. He said in the press conference, okay, what was the reason, Musty? Because if he's like injured, then there's nothing that, obviously that's nothing I can't even criticize the decision. That's the correct call. Can you tell me why, Musty? Why was he taken off? What was the reason for it? This is information that I need to know because this is going to help my brain. Because if he had to come off, then of course, there shouldn't be really any blame on Pep anyway. But that means there's even less of a burden on any blame at Guardiola's door, sorry. So let me know, Musty, what happened there? What happened there? Let me know, please. Sunderland Mike Cookers says, mazed. I hope not. They are far more of a defensive counter-attacking side. He said he needs to maintain his minutes because he's at only DM. He also said he might trial O'Reilly or Nori at DM. Okay, so he was thinking about future games. That does make sense, in fairness, because if Rodri's still unavailable, then that does make sense. Okay. Manage your minutes. Okay, sure. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Sorry, I just keep touching on my Lego figures. I'm so antsy right now. Yeah, so that happened. And the finish for the third goal is also gorgeous. It's also beautiful. Of course it is. But I don't like how much we seceded territory. And I don't like how we once again, and I'm sorry to keep banging the drum, but it keeps happening every single second half. We struggle to sustain pressure. We struggle to sustain possession and control when the opponent simply moves up the pitch a little bit. And it doesn't help that we were tired today, seemingly. It doesn't help. I mean, Pep's literally alluded to it there by taking off Nico. It doesn't help that we didn't have our defensive midfielder on the pitch at that time. It didn't help that Fulham were deciding to play 1% finish FC time. All of these little things, and also didn't help that we didn't kill the game even more so. Like, I know we scored 5 today. Could have been 6, 7, 8 goals. All of those things didn't help. But it is just a concern that that's happened again, and it keeps happening this season. It's not an isolated incident. It's happening against Leeds, happening against Brentford, happening against United, happening against Newcastle, it's happening against Monaco. It's happening all the time. So this is a concern, potentially. Potentially. Match made him lose his hair, this guy. This guy needs to shut up. So that was a problem. That was the problem ultimately. Fulham came onto us a bit more. They've got more energy. They've got more fitness levels, perhaps. And we simply could not cope with it. We simply could not cope with it. So I suppose that's where control was lost, I guess. With losing our defensive midfielder. It helped when it helped when Shirky came on because Foden went to the centre. And he's going to be a better build-up option centrally than at right wing. So that did help a lot. And even though Shirky gave away a couple of silly passes that annoyed me, he also did well after that. That's definitely a thing to note. We shouldn't have to do that, though. It's frustrating that he had to make that change against Leeds to move Foden and Doku out wide because Leeds were forcing us out wide. It's frustrating that he's had to do that today. He's had to bring on Shirky to move Foden to the centre as well to help us be stronger in build-up as well and help us, I guess, be more secure generally on the pitch because Foden's a better defensive midfielder than Reinders is. Better at defending in midfield, than Reinders is. So that's made us more stable off ball. It also makes us more stable on ball. The fact that we're having to do that is concerning, I think. It's a bit of a concern. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe it is just a one-off because of fitness levels. Because we have had a couple of games. But a couple of games back, very quickly together. But it is... It's upset me. I'm not going to lie. It's upset me how we've had to do that. Do I think Reinders was good? I thought it was good first half. There was very good first half, in fact. I thought it was very good first half. I thought every one of our players was good in that first half, at the least, to be honest with you. Now, I don't think anyone had like a bad game. First half, second half, I mean, there was some stinkers, obviously, but that's correct, Muster, yeah, to be fair. So there we go. I suppose it's the same situation, it's the same dynamic as I alluded to in the Leeds post-mortem. I'm emotionally drained. That's an emotionally draining game. And, oh gosh, we scored 5, could have scored 6, 7, 8. Conceded 4. I mean, thank God for Gvardiol at the end there. Thank God for Joshko at the end. Christ. Got beaten. Nunes got beaten too easily towards the end. Don got beaten too easily towards the end. Joshko, the boy. This is a game you need to sleep on. Yeah, I will sleep. I will rewatch the game tomorrow. Sorry. Well, I'm going to rewatch the second half tomorrow. I'm not rewatching the first half because we know that we were really good the first half. I'll rewatch the second half and then be like, what on earth is going on? What on earth is occurring here? What's going on? Oh dear. Right, before we get into the player ratings, because I've only been yapping for 30 minutes. I normally like to yap for about 45, 50 minutes before I move on to the Fanalysis player ratings. I'm going to come to the chat now. Oh, Musty, we've we not here for the post-mortem against Leeds? Hello? Irrelevant FC actually doing something. We need Bruno G at City. I would love Bruno G, but that ship has sailed. Pep tinkering so much, says Dom. How sustainable is it to rely on Rodri and Nico this season? I'd like to think that it's fine, but Rodri needs to sort himself out. He needs to like come back, and because Nico can't play every single game. You can't, and Nico is. It's not like before where it's like Rodri can't play every game, but we've got Gundogan, so it's fine. Like Nico is supposed to be Gundogan in that sense. So we've got to figure something out, because Pep's right to talk about managing his minutes. Can you like come back from injury, please? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm emotionally drained. Need a DM. Nico is tied. We can't sign a DM though, because imagine if we sign a pure 6 and then Rodri comes back and it's like, well, what do we do with this guy now? So we can't really do that. Yoshiko's our second best player. 0.9 XG 4 goals is crazy. Yes, indeed. Absolutely insane. Shows how great the finishing was. Book his ideas up, yeah. Foden didn't play right wing on ball, King. Why does our press get played through so easily? Structure, I doubt it's about intensity at this point. I've made my thoughts clear. I don't like the structure. I don't actually think the pressing was a problem today. I don't think that was the main concern for me anyway. Towards the end, it pissed me off that we committed so many bodies forwards. It's like, lads, if we concede one more goal, it's the biggest bottle job ever. Like, get back and defend. Funny stats, we had 4 shots on target. 4 shots on target, we should have scored 80, is mad. If I buy a 6, Nico could play his natural position. But then what happens when Rodri comes back? I don't think you can make that commitment until we decide what's happening with Rodri. Like, if Rodri's gone, then sure, bring in another player. But right now, not going to be a thing. Not going to be a thing. What structure would I suggest? My favourite is the 4-4-2. I did actually recommend the 4-3-3 before the start of this season. Not this fucking version of it, because I was concerned about how do I get Shirky into the team, and the 4-3-3 really easily gets Shirky into the sides, as we have seen this season. If Shirky can become a better off-ball worker either at right midfield or at striker, I'd be happy to go back to a 4-4-2 and just chill out. 4-4-2, why is this 9-1? We've played 4-4-2 for the past like 5 years, I want to say. Apart from this season, obviously. John is not getting a contract. Oh my god. I thought John was bad when he came on. To be honest with you, he did that one good block at the end, but apart from that, no. I've seen mixed things about Savio. I thought that he was really bad in the moments where all he had to do was like calm down and take a touch and maybe go backwards or play it sideways. Because there were too many moments where he did charge into opposition players and he played the wrong pass. That did frustrate me. The good news is that he was making those mistakes in areas where it was not dangerous. That was the good thing. It was at least happening in areas where it didn't matter, thankfully. That was, however, that was the only problem I had with him. So there was nothing that he did that was detrimental. What I felt that he did a lot more good than bad. He should have had an assist, for example. Haaland somehow hits the post there. When did that shot actually happen? How many goals have been scored by that point? 70th minute. That would have made the game 6-2. And that definitely kills. That was actually before. That was a pretty key moment, actually. So Haaland had that shot in the 70th minute, and Fulham scored in the 72nd and 78th. The ball by Savio is perfect. He should have got an assist, and that kills the game. And he was only on the pitch at that point for 4 minutes, I think. Is that right? When did Doku come off? Sorry, 6 minutes. That kills the game. So Savio did well there. Another thing he did do well, his off-ball work, fantastic. That one moment, I can't remember what minute it was. I feel like it was at 5-4. So this was like, oh my God, like, the ball, and Núñez gets beaten. The ball comes across, evades our entire midfield. It's about to fall to, I think, Wilson, maybe, like to the right of the box. And Savio just intercepts it. And that could have easily been a goal that he saved there as well. I thought his off-ball work rate and the way he was able to win it back was actually really good. So I wasn't, outside of the non-assist, I wasn't happy with him on ball, but what mattered more, bizarrely, what mattered more at that time was actually defensive actions. Was it Chukwueze? Sorry, Jack. Maybe it was. Perhaps it was. Maybe I'm misremembering. I think you're right. And that interception could have... And if it was Chukwueze, that would have been his hat-trick. Because he have 2 goals? Yes, he was on for a hat-trick. Like, that was... He had a hot hand at that time. You know, he had a hot foot. So that's a really important interception also. So I wasn't impressed with him on ball outside of the assist, and that's a crazy thing to say. But I think he was brought on more so to be an off-ball worker, and in fairness, he did do that. So I actually felt that Savio was actually a good sub, in all honesty, outside of a couple of frustrating moments where he just had to not misplace the pass, where he had to make a better decision. So I actually thought that Savio played well when he came on overall. Should have got the assist. Annoying on ball. Excellent off ball, though. And what we needed at that time was more so off ball. So I was personally happy with Savio's defensive display. And he should have had an assist. So I thought that he had a good cameo, in all honesty. Stones, I sadly can't say the same about Stones. Just terrible. Just terrible, to be honest. And that sounds really bad. I don't think he did anything well, apart from the one block at the end, which is like, okay, bare minimum stuff at that point. It's, and you guys know I love John. I love Stone so much. He's like such a lovable player, and I adore him. But like, I think it was True Citizen who said it. Yeah, oh no, in fact, I've still got it on the screen, sorry. Yeah, John is not getting a contract at this rate. It ain't good enough. He was lovely against Villarreal, was it? And then it's just been not great ever since, really. Yeah, not getting. I agree. I don't know why I'd bring on Marmoush. It's certainly not a game for Marmoush. And I repeat, I love John Stones. I love him. And yeah, he's not a DM, but I've seen him play well at DM, like against Real Madrid, but it's just like simple passes going astray. Was he the one that played Foden under insane pressure? And then Foden somehow got away with it because he got fouled because his close control's so good. I thought it was Bernardo, but you guys told me it was Stones. That as well. It's just... It's like we're playing on hard mode at times. What's happening? What's going on? Was it Dortmund then, Musty? Or was it... No, it was Leverkusen. Yeah, you're right. It was Leverkusen. He was good. Yeah, I take that back. He was good against Leverkusen. I take that back. Yeah, he was good against Leverkusen. Ake, didn't have much time. And yeah, Shirky, really frustrating, like the first couple of actions he had. Giving the ball away really annoyed me. Like one of them led to quite a good chance as well. That really annoyed me. But then he got a grip. It did also allow Foden to go into the middle, so that was nice. And he should have had an assist, because Gavardio should have had that shot, shouldn't he, also? Pep said Shirky was the key why we didn't draw. I mean... Did he expand on why? Because his first 2 actions were to basically give the ball away. He was better in like from sort of like, I want to say like the 90th minute onwards. That was nice. That was lovely. That was much better. But my word, he was frustrating in his first few minutes on the pitch. My word, he was frustrating. He allowed Foden to play in the middle, which was good. But good God, man. It's like, stop with the creation, mate. Like, we're hanging on here. He slowed the game down after he made those 2 errors. Yes, I agree. But before then, it was very... surely I can't be the only one who was frustrated with that. One of them led to a decent opportunity for Fulham as well. I can't remember the one. He gives it away on the right side for no reason. And then, like, Nunes is shafted because he's got no support. That pissed me off and that annoyed me. That was not the right time to be messing around on the ball. And then after the mistake, it was fine. But it was a very frustrating early few minutes. Thankfully, he locked in after that. But it was annoying in the interim. Good lord. A stinker of a second half, indeed. Again, yeah, Dom, like, I'm going to say around, like, 88th minutes onwards. So for the final, like, see, he was on the pitch for what? How many minutes of time did they have? Was it 8 added minutes? So 16 minutes in total. I'm going to say the first 6 were shit and annoying, and the last 10 were very good. From Shirky. That's what I'm going to say. That's how I'd apportion it. I only remember the Donnarumma chop. Wait, what's the Donnarumma chop? What does that mean? That's just a birthmark, Phoenix. Okay. Shall we do the player ratings now? Let's go through this merry bunch and see what the hell is going on, shall we? Let's see what the hell is going on. Let's take it one step at a time. Oh, that one must be, yeah. Jesus Christ, man. Was that the one after their 4th goal? Right. Okay. Why is my mic quiet? It's fine for me. I'm in the orange. I don't think it's quiet for anyone else. If it is, just turn your volume up. It's not a problem. Not a problem. Oh, God. Okay. What we do on these things, guys, is we give a player from 0 to 100. You guys can do 0 to 10. If you are going to do that, just make sure you're using a decimal point. So instead of saying like 7, if you want to do a decimal, do 7.1, and I'll say that's 71. Where is my app? This is on the Finalysis app. I need to sign in. Tee-hee-hee-hee. And we're going to do the player ratings on Finalysis. I need to enter a code. We chatted about transfers earlier, Jess. I'd recommend watching that stream after. 5-4. That's a stupid... That's such a stupid... When was the last time we were involved in a game that had like a minimum 9 goals? When was the last time that happened? Good lord. Okay. Let's take this one player at a time, and we'll talk about the player in a bit more detail, because we've sort of talked about like the system and the problems overall. 6-3 United. Good lord. Fucking hell. That was when was that? Not last season, the season before that, was it? Or the season before that? I don't know. Right. We're gonna start from the back. We are gonna be starting bad, and because by the time we get to the strikers, we're gonna have some nice ratings when we get to the likes of Phil Foden and Haaland. We're gonna have some high ratings here. We're gonna have some low ratings to begin with, though. I will repeat the rules. 50, aka 5, means average. None of this 6 bullshit. That's not how maths works. All rating sites are objectively incorrect, and I don't care. We do our own rules over here, yes? A 5 is by definition of maths, average. So a 50 is average. 60 is above average. 7 or 70 is good. 8 or 80 is great. 9 or 90 is brilliant. 10 or 100 is perfect. Conversely, going the other way around, once again, 5 or 50 is average. 4 or 40 below average. 3 or 30 is bad. 2 or 20 is like really bad. 1 to 10 is getting into shit and you were actually detrimental to the team. That is how bad you were in this game. We always start with the goalkeeper, of course. So Donnarumma. Let's break down what happened with Donnarumma's game. Good save in the first half. Terrible. Really bad for the fourth goal, unfortunately. Got to do so much better. Unfortunately, he's showcasing his weaknesses from corners. Looks really questionable from other corners also. Someone said it, the Donnarumma chop. And whilst I've not really touched on it in this one, if you want to know more detail about why our City is struggling a lot in the second half, a lot of it does have to do with build-up, unfortunately. If you want more detail on that, go watch the Leeds Post-Mortem. This cannot be a high rating, unfortunately, because he did make a good save to keep it 1-0, I think. But then it's bad for that goal, so that balances it out. And then there were some equally poor moments with the coming out for the corners. And I don't know if I should be having a go at him for this, but even towards the end, when he gets dinked over, I don't know if I'm being harsh there, because I'll have to watch it again, where Gvardiol clears it. I only saw it like once or twice. Should he be doing better there, or is it just a really good little dink over him? I'm not actually sure. This was not an average game by Donnarumma. This was not an average Donnarumma performance. This is not the... I don't think this is like what you expect of like a typical average Donnarumma display. I would suggest that this is a below average performance based on what we expect Donnarumma to be. One good save, one error, and a bit of flair, which almost killed. Oh my god, that move, man, yeah. It was a fucking weird game in that second half, Liam Byrne. So it's going to be 40-something based on that. I think I'm going to give him 45. For me, he was below average. Below average. He did a good save. He did a bad thing. He did other bad things. That's taking it more so to the like the lesser display. I'm not going to say he had a bad game, but I'm going to say it's below average though. I think that's reasonable, and I think that is fair. He needs to get better at corners. I'm sorry. I thought he turned a corner. Yeah, I thought he had turned a corner at the start of the season. You know, everyone was having a go at me saying, Nobbins, you've lied to us. He's actually good from set pieces. I was like, hey, he's improved. That's really good to see. We've regressed to the mean. I'm afraid to say we have gone backwards, and that is a shame. It's like the anti-Robert Sanchez in that sense. So I'm going to say 45 for Dom. That's a shame because I was really happy with his first half. Ruben Diaz, a couple of good blocks. I felt. I don't think that on an individual level he could have done anything for any of the goals. He did concede 4, so I don't know if we have to hold that against him. But realistically, could he have done anything for any of the goals? I don't think so. I think he did some good blocks, yeah. So I'm going to say he had at least an above average game. So it's going to at least begin with a 6. For me, low 6s though, probably. I don't think that he did anything excellent. So I'm thinking low 6s for me. How did he fare aerially? That's what I always like to keep a tab on. I do like to keep a tab on that. 3 out of 4 aerial duels. He's doing really good in the air this season. I don't know what's happened to him this year. Fair play. Fair play to him, man. He's actually locked in with the aerial duels. I think low 6s is fine. I think that's an above average game for him, but he did concede 4 goals. Even though it's not, I don't think anyone really his fault. Not a spectacular game, just like, you know, good, fine, whatever. I think I'm going to give him 62. 62. Okay, Gvardiol. He saved the day at the end. Oh my god, he saved the day. He was in all sorts of positions as well. Like when Nico went off. There was one moment where he was in midfield. There was one moment where he was like chilling at striker. He then went back to left back. He did a goal line clearance at the end. As with Diaz, I don't think he was at fault for any of the goals. So he had a weird game. So I think that, I mean, that goal line clearance is doing a lot of heavy lifting, but I don't care. I do think that it does deserve to boost him up a little bit. I think like without that goal line clearance, he's more like around like a 65 for me. I'm going to pump it up to a 70 though. I do think he deserves to be in the 7s. I think that was a good game from Yoshko. If he scored, it would have been in the 8s. Yeah, exactly. I think that's fair. I think that is fair. And I do have to give him that goal line clearance, which literally saved our bacon. And he wasn't at fault for any of the goals. I will repeat that point. I think that's important to note. Nunes was weird. I mean, this is the case for all of these players. It's going to be really hard to judge these players until we get to the attackers. Nunes was weird, man. Towards the end, sorry, first half, I thought it was good. I thought it was really good, in all honesty. He was allowing Foden to play in the centre. That was nice. But the amount of times that he got beaten, was it by, who was it that kept beating him? Was it Chukwueze or someone? I don't know who it was. Oh my word, it was nearly every single time. Like, he just get dribbled past way too easily. Even like when it came to like a physical battle, he couldn't use his strength to take him down. And Kevin, was it? I feel like he got beaten way too easily at a time where we could not afford to do that. It was ridiculous. Yeah. And that's what I mean by he had a weird game. He started it really well, you know, like mid-6s maybe even pushing up to a 7 or a 70. But the level of ease at which that he was bypassed in the second half over and over again. It was every single... Because it wasn't like a... It was every single time, basically. Nearly every single time. And that's not what we needed at that point. So I think I've got to say it's below average based on that, surely. I don't think that was an average display. I might be giving him like a 48 or something for that. He wasn't at fault for a goal. They did keep targeting him, absolutely. Like, he wasn't directly at fault for a goal, so I'm not going to make it too low. But it's going to be something beginning with a 4 for me. I think that's a below average game from him. That first half is saving him. First half is saving him, and what's also saving him is the fact that he did not make a mistake leading to a goal. This is Nunes we're talking about, by the way. Nunes. So I'm going to say 48. Didn't Nunes get beat before the Yoshko clearance? That came from the left. I think Nunes and Don got beaten. I think that's right. I'm pretty sure that's right. So, yeah. I'm going to give him high 4s. 48. Below average from him. Not outright bad, because he wasn't bad for the whole game. Bad in like the last few minutes, good lord, but across the whole game it wasn't. O'Reilly, alternatively, there was that one moment where I was concerned that he was going to have like given away a penalty, but he didn't, and it was just like a coming together, not a problem there. They opted to not target O'Reilly. As Musty's just said, they did target Nunes instead. Didn't contribute that much offensively, apart from actually did some good moments in the first half. This is going to be higher than Nunes, of course. It's not going to be as high as Yoshko, though. It might be like similar-ish to Diaz, maybe a little bit less. Maybe a little bit less, because there were some moments where he was also getting beaten a little bit too easily. Good movements. I'm probably going to give him like a high 5. A 5. Or maybe mid-5s, actually. Yeah, I'm being too generous. Mid-5s. I'm going to say 55, personally. Average from O'Reilly. Pretty average. Even though, once again, he wasn't necessarily at fault for any of the goals. Such a weird game to try. This is an impossible game to rank for these defenders, to be honest with you. It's really hard. And the midfield also. Really tricky to judge. Very, very... my little baby brain is so confused. Oh my god, my protein yogurt's gone very soft. Sounds stupid because it's yogurt, but I meant to say thin. It is normally very thick. Still good though, salty caramel flavour. Okay, Reinders. Scored a goal. Had a really nice first half. Taken off in the 82nd minute when the game was like going away from us. As with everyone else, really weird. Really nice first half. Scored a goal. I thought it was purring at times. I thought it was lovely. A lovely performance from him. I liked what I saw. Second half, less so. Need more from Reinders out of possession? Totally agree. Phil Foden should not be a better off-ball midfielder than Reinders. That should not be happening. But it is happening, and that's weird. Oh yeah, that little flick was cute. Yeah, the little one where Bassi was like, what's going on here? Yeah, the first half may well be like high sevens or even encroaching onto an 8. But the second half does have to bring the balance back down. I still think I'm going to give him, though, like minimum high 6s. And I still think that first half was good enough where it does deserve a 7. I think. Or a high 6 at the lowest. At the lowest. He did score a goal. And it was a very good goal. It was a lovely finish as well. Okay, guys, for the meme, I'll make it 67. For God's sake. Yes, you're all very funny. Well done. I hate you all. Big up to you, Stacey. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Welcome to the Ultras Club, my mate. Love that from you. And your random footballer is Goodmonson. Nay, I don't know what you think about Goodmonson, but there you go, Stacey. Thank you so much. If you guys want to become a member of the channel, just as Stacey has done, and click that little link there. Big up to you, Stacey, for that. We love to see that. Excellent stuff. 67, do we think, then? I'll do it for the bloody meme. I'm not going to do the thing, but we'll say 67. Okay. Nico. What we saying? Nico G. He went off before the shit show. So he's not getting tarred with the same brush. He went off when it was still 5-2. I thought he was really good in the first half. Really good in the first half. Second half, maybe it went away from him a little bit. He was clearly tired. That's why Pep brought him off. That does make sense. Yeah. What are we saying? Not too much to say about Nico. Oh, yeah, he blocked it with his balls, didn't he? Yeah, he gets extra points for that, in all honesty. He does get extra points for that. Oh. Wait, Jasper. Thank you so much, Jasper. Welcome to the Ultras Club. Look at that. Thank you so much, mate. Get a better profile picture, though. Come on, that's just a J. But thank you so much, mate. Welcome to the Ultras Club. You guys have been very generous today. And your random footballer is Roy Hodgson. It's a bit cheeky, Roy. Look at that. Look at that. There you go, matey. Love that from you, Jasper. Excellent work. Welcome to the Ultras Club. You can click that link, guys, if you'd like to support the channel. Big up to Roy. Yeah, so, sorry, what were we saying for Nico? Do you guys reckon low 7s or high 6s? Basically, did he have a better or worse game than Reinders? Because we gave Reinders 67, so we can use that as like a base point, can't we? And did he have a better game than Tijani Reinders? If so, we'll give him something 7. Much better than Reinders. Oh, Reddy says no. Oh, we've got controversy here. Better, yes. Instinctively, I think I agree, because that second half is taking Reinders down a little bit. I'm going to say 71. 71 for Nico G. Cheeky Nico G. 71. Because he did only play 2/3 of the game, so that is going to go against his ratings. Wasn't his best game, Dom? Absolutely. Wasn't his worst game, though. I thought he had a good game. Another weird player. I'm sorry, I keep saying that. It's going to get weird until we get to like the attackers, I suspect. Bernardo. I don't know what to make of his performance. their third goal, I don't know whose fault it is exactly. It's either Bernardo's fault or it's Foden's fault. By virtue of the fact that in that phase of play, Bernardo is technically the defensive midfielder, it's probably more so on him. I don't think Foden's entirely faultless, by the way, in that goal. I think maybe it's... Maybe I'd say like Bernardo 65, Foden 35. If we're doing the thing of apportioning blame, and I am, because Bernardo is like the defensive midfielder in that moment. He should be clearing it, but at the same time, Foden should not necessarily assume that he is going to clear it. So that is a thing. He's not a defensive midfielder, but it was still his position. He was like giving us like good moments in the first half. Like we were just steady. It was easy. It was nice. He was rotating a lot with Foden and Nunes, and it was a great time. Had by all. But it was just a very odd game from him. Very odd game from him. I don't know what to make of it. I properly don't know about Bernardo. I feel like he's probably like around maybe like the same as Reinders, like something beginning with a 6. I'd say maybe. I don't know. 55. Do you reckon? Help me out here, guys? What do you reckon? This is the one where I'm like, I've no idea. I've properly no idea. High 60s is generous. 50. How old am I? 12. I'd go 50s, 55, 58. This is the beginning of the end. Good lord. That's quite extreme. First half, it was 52nd, 60. 55. 58. This is the one I'm just going to let the chat basically decide. Looks like we're getting mid-50s here. I will bend my knee to the whims of the chat for that one because I've got no strong opinion either way on Bernardo. I properly have no idea what I've just watched. That's not very good, but I'm being honest. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Right, now we can talk about fun things. Hooray! Big Erling. Big Erling. He got a goal. Should have had 3. He got 2 assists. One was more fortunate than the other. The first assist was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Second assist, okay, it's fortunate, whatever. He should have scored even before his first goal from that Foden through ball. He then should have scored from that Savio cross as well in that second half. But at the end of the day, he scored and got 2 assists. So like he did his job at the end of the day. So this has got to be something beginning with an 8. Based on that, surely. I'm gonna have more protein yogurt. This man hit the woodwork twice. Like, what is your problem? What is your problem, sir? What is happening? Any interesting... What was defensive numbers like? He normally does aerial clearances. Oh, he didn't do a clearance today. 1L. Oh, I'm going to give him a 2 now. Forget about it. Forget about it. He was not good in the second half. He wasn't. But it's still beginning with an 8. And it's going to be a low 8. But the quality of the first half makes up for it, in my opinion, even though he missed an effort. I'm going to say... Jasper says 82. I was going to go for 80, Musty. I was thinking a clean 8-0. Just like literally the tip of you've had a great game overall across the 90 minutes. I'm thinking an 80 is pretty chill. For me. What an assist, yeah. I want more hold up play, says Metalli. Yeah, I agree. I do tend to agree. So I'm going to give him a cheeky 80. I think that's fine because, of course, output matters, but it's not just about that. It's not just about that, and he did die off in that second half, and he had a chance to properly kill the game and hit the post instead from a Savio one. It would have been. Okay. Oh my god, just spat everywhere. How disgusting of me. Jeremy Doku. We lost an outlet when he went off. He was another player who went off before the shit show. He got an assist for the first goal. He forced an own goal. But he only played 2/3 of the match. So that's going to be going against him, obviously. But from what he did, I liked. He's literally the reason why we were in the lead with that ball to Fulham. And I liked what I saw from Jeremy. I liked what I saw. So it's either going to be a high 7 or a low 8 for me personally. I did like what I saw from Jezza. 82, 85. 83, 80, 83. 80, 80, 79. 79, 78. Same as Reinders. Oh, no. 65. Forced no goal but lost in the holy amount of balls. Did he? Says, well, I don't know, in fairness, because this isn't always. It says dispossessed 3 times and 20 out of 28 successful passes. I don't know if I agree with that last bit. Not sure on that one. Not sure on that one, TBH. Hello, Juan. Doku 78, 80, 81, 68. 78, 78, 78, 75. Ignored the assist. Wait, what? Don't know what that means. I do think that the time he was on the pitch, I do think that he was slightly better than Erling. I'm going to give him an 81. That's what I'm going for. We lost a lot when he went off as well. You know what I mean? Okay. Last starter. And of course, who else was going to get man of the match? This guy has saved us again. Thankfully. Should have had an assist in the first half. Scored a ridiculous goal to make it 3-0. That should have killed the game off. That wasn't enough, so he killed the game off again to make it 4-1. He was then really good when he was moved more so to midfield when we were trying to build up. Does have to take some responsibility for that third goal, even though I think Bernardo has to take most of it, still has to take some responsibility for that. But this is going to be the highest rating. Obviously it is. Defensively excellent as well, by the way. I don't know what his defensive numbers were, but someone in the chat said he had like 10 defensive actions or something ridiculous. Let's have a look-see. He had 2 shots in the game, you know. Should have had an assist. I think I've already said that. 3 tackles, a clearance, a headed clearance, 4 interceptions, 5 recoveries. Won 5 out of 7 of his ground duels. Even won an aerial duel. Won half of his aerial duels. Was fouled a couple times to kill the game. This is going to be a high 8, probably. What did I give him last time? What did I give him for the Leeds game? I can't remember. If anyone can remember, let me know. This is going to be a high 8 or a low 9. I'm thinking high 8 instinctively. I could be convinced, though. $88 musty, sure. Wait, I did give him a 98. I feel like I didn't. Did I really? If I did, then fair play. That must have been like just because I was like riding off the brain of, oh my god, he's actually saved the day here. Probably shouldn't have given. Oh, I didn't. Musty, why are you lying? 89 loses 90 due to the 1 failed clearance. Otherwise, an amazing performance as Jasper. 93 Silverstone Foot Mob agree. If you're 90, then you're old. No, if you get a 90, then that means that you are. That means you had a brilliant game. think he was, yeah, I think that's right, Musty. I think he was on the cusp of having a brilliant game. I do have to take off a number of points for the, as Musty said, the Bernardo malarkey. Even though it's not all his fault, I still think he has to take some responsibility there. I'm going to say 89, because I think he's right on the cusp. He's edging. Yeah, you get me? He's edging. I'm going to say 89. I think that's fair. I think that's good. He did save us again. He did save us again. Pep. Pep. Felt he had to take Nico off because of fitness. This is the reality of the situation. He got his... In the 54th minute, we were 5-1 up. Now, I do not care if the manager puts the goalkeeper at left wing, the striker in goal, and takes a right back off and you play with 10 men. If you are 5-1 up, you win the game comfortably. You don't nearly capitulate, make it 5-4, and I have to have a goal line clearance right at the end. So I am not going to give Pep a low ranking here based on that. I can't. That's not I don't think that's reasonable to do that. We talked about the Savio sub, which I actually liked overall. Stones coming on was stinky, but I mean, Stones was just bad, wasn't he? We spoke about Shirky, who overall was a positive. So, and I felt that he set us up right. Fulham's finishing was just insane. I'm going to say that he actually had a good performance as a manager, to be honest with you. I'm going to give him a 70, personally. I'm going to do that. Because Musty said that he came out and said I had to do that because he was tired or whatever, so I can't really hold that against him that much. I'm not going to rate the subs. I'm not going to rate Stones, Ake, Shirky, or Savio, but we have spoken about them at length, haven't we? So, there we go. And those are my rankings. So just in sum, guys, in case you just got here or you want to know what my rankings are in total. So from top to bottom, because they get progressively worse, basically. Foden, 89. Doku, 81. Haaland, 80. Nico, 71. Gvardiol, 70. Reinders, 67. Diaz, 62. Bernardo and O'Reilly, 55. Nunes, 48. And Donnarumma, 44. Big up Turkey. How you doing, mate? Galatasaray, hey, I'll see you when we play each other, yes? Leroy Sane and Gundo, etc. Fulham are so weird, man. Fulham were shit defensively, but their finishing was obscene. And this is going to sound weird, I don't think that Fulham were actually good offensively today from a, chance creation perspective. It's not like Fulham were creating clear-cut chance after clear-cut chance after clear-cut chance. But the finishing was a 10 out of 10. It was ridiculous. So I don't think they created a lot, and yet they scored 4 goals. That is how good the finishing was. But overall, they were bad. So the fact that we conceded 4 goals against them is upsetting. And it's really funny looking at things like FootMob and SofaScore. And I know that I know that play ratings don't really mean anything, but it is funny just to see how much red there is for Fulham. It's quite funny. Yeah, Adon didn't quite get into the red. He just about held on with a 5. Give them those chances tomorrow, they score 0. I think you're probably right. I can't get that Iwobi finish out of my head. That was so good. And the Smith Rowe head, they were all good finishes. All of them. Even the one that we made as an error, the Donnarumma error, it's still a really good finish. Which is mad. Just absolutely mad. Good lord. Oh. Thank you guys for helping me. Yeah, I did say Iwobi's been their best player this season. He's been fantastic for them. And so it came to pass. Would rather a 1-0 or 5-4. Definitely a 1-0. Well, it depends on the... Yeah, definitely a 1-0. No. No. As a fan, who just wants to watch football, 5-4. But from a practical perspective, you want 1-0 because that means that that's a sustainable way of winning. You're keeping clean sheets, you're scoring a goal, that's chill. If you're winning a game 5-4, with the issues we've had anyway, a bit more cause for concern. Okay, there's no doubt this was entertaining, and this is what football is about. But at the end of the day, I'm thinking about it more so the long term and sustainability, and this ain't it. This ain't it, Chief. We can't have, and we've had 2 games back to back like this now, where it's just been absolute carnage and chaos in the second half in particular, like throwing away leads for no reason at all. Ugh. I'm so physically tired. I'm so emotionally drained. My mental capacity is in the negatives. And, you know, my cognitive bandwidth is approaching an end. Oh my god, what a fucking game that was. Absolutely stupid, ridiculous, insane game of football. Burn the Bow next week. No! Mentally weak like the team. That's something we didn't actually discuss, in fairness. We talked about like the physical, like the athleticism, i.e. like they're tired, but it is concerning that a goal goes in and we just can't deal with adversity. It is concerning. Does 24-25 City lose that? Oh yeah, 24-25 City doesn't score those 5 goals, but yeah, probably. It was funny watching Nobbins feel guilty for jinxing us twice. The banana curse has been lifted though. Yeah, because I think the last time we properly used a banana was Feyenoord, and that didn't work. It got the win tonight. Yes, the banana got the win tonight. It's lucky again. I'll whip it out for the Real Madrid game as well, chat. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Mbappe versus Nunes. It might be Mbappe central. I have no idea what it's going to be. Who knows? Maybe Kusanov will have a cheeky start. If it's Vinicius, then you know we know that Kusanov can play well against him because Vinicius just tries to run and Kusanov is like, ha, nah, mate. Banana came out as we shut up, Jack. Shut up. He does run. You're not wrong. Deary me. Deary me. I'm going tomorrow. What I'm going to do after this stream is I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to calm down, chill out, put pajamas on, get nice and cozy. And then tomorrow morning, I will rewatch the game, the second half in particular, and I will try to produce an analysis video on what on earth happened in that second half. We've touched on it today, and I also touched on it in the Leeds aftermath. It doesn't help when you don't have a +1 in the centre. It doesn't help, of course, when you're tired. It doesn't help when you can't build out from the back for that first reason. It doesn't help when the opponent actually comes on to you. When I'm doing 5 observations, I will do that after that gets uploaded, Jaden. What I tend to do is I record the post-match analysis video. I'll edit it, I'll get it uploaded, and then I will, as it's uploading, I will then record the short and then edit it, so it'll come out a little bit after the analysis video. That's what tends to happen this season. Yes, spend some time with Evie. Yeah, I will do that, Natalia. My little kitty. Oh, she's so beautiful. Is there anything else that we would like to discuss today that we haven't already done so? In sum, ridiculous finishing by Fulham for the most part. Questionable goalkeeping on one of them. Fantastic finishing from City for the most part. Questionable finishing on a couple of them. And we shit the bed. I don't want to watch any football for a few days. There will be no football watch along tomorrow. I will tell you that right now. What there will be some Football Manager, which is obviously more chill and calm. That's going to be live on the Twitch. It's going to be live on the Twitch. So make sure you are following the Twitch, because it's going to be tomorrow evening English time. We'll have a match on in the background. We'll have a little look at that, because I think Arsenal are playing, aren't they? Oh, Spurs and Newcastle drew. I didn't realise that. Everton beat Bournemouth. Wow, that's big. So, yeah, Arsenal play Brentford. We'll have that on in the background. Of course we will. Of course we'll have that on in the background, and we'll see what's going on. Maybe Brentford can do us a favour, because right now, even after that shit show, at the end of the day, chat, we won. And we are now, of course, there's a game in hand, but we are 2 points behind. Now, we are just 2 points behind. As Pep's hand is trying to encroach. Oh. 32 goals in 14 games. That's a lot better for the averages. Thank you so much, Jimmy. That's much healthier, because before that we were looking at averaging getting 70 odd goals or something. 20 months, Jimmy 5 Chins. Love that from you. Your random footballer is Samir Handanovic. A bit of a throwback there. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, unless we have anything that we want to say in the final moments of this stream. But do let me know if there's anything else that you want to chat about. As I'm doing that, I'm going to have the Hall of Fame passing on the screen. We had lots of lovely new members today, so thank you guys so much. Shout out to Jack. Yusuf, big shout out to Yusuf for becoming a hardcore ultra. Look at this, I've added subheadings. Look at that. And I've made it in order as Ultimate requested, so fair play. Big up to Puneet. Stacey Stassi. Jasper. And Jimmy for renewing your membership. Shout out to all of my beautiful supporters. Hey, do you want to support me and get a physical product? Pick up some Nobbins merch there. Get a physical product. Support your boy. It's only high quality stuff. You can get shirts, hoodies, and canvas art. All unique designs by your boy. We also have an OnlyFans, aka the Patreon. Big up to you, Musty. If you want ad-free viewing, then click that Patreon link. And you can do that as well. And you get exclusive members-only videos. Yes. Yes. Whew. Grealish got the winner. Yes. I demand to be at the top of the list, says Jack. It's by virtue of how long you've been on the thing. There's the merch. Exclusive feet picks for you, Musty. Anything. We need to play after Arsenal in this title race. We're filling them with confidence each game we play before them. LB says, I hate Donnarumma. No, I don't. Don't know where that's come from. That's an interesting statement. Of course, only for you though, Musty. Only for you. Maybe Jack, of course. Champions and win games, you're not wrong. We need to improve and make sure the last two games don't happen again. Definitely. We've got Sunderland next big challenge. 4-5 Fulham is kind of worrying. Is there a solution? I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. It's up for Pep to find it. It's up for Pep to find the solution. And because we know we've identified the problems. The problems are we're not very good at building out from the back centrally. The problems are that if Nico goes off, then we shit the bed because we still don't have like a defensive midfielder there. The problem is that we can't really seem to trust our bench. Even though we look at that bench, it's like, oh, that's quite a good one. No, Pep doesn't seem... The lack of rotation this season has been worrying. As for the quality of the bench and how much faith is being put in it. The fact that he's not willing to rotate and is willing to run players into the ground is a concern. That is a concern, I would suggest. So I'm sure there is a solution. I mean, there are a number of solutions, but there are some that aren't tenable and aren't realistic. In fact, there are lots of unrealistic solutions. I think the Belabor ship has sailed, to be honest, matey. We've given Arsenal hope, false hope, sorry. Elite mind games. The goals scored by Fulham were crazy good. Set piece need to improve. Overall good game. Reminder that Arsenal needs to come to the Etihad. We are still there, absolutely. My local team can defeat a DM-less City. What's wrong with Savio? I thought he came on and did well today. We chatted about that. He did well defensively. He should have got an assist. He just gave away the ball a couple of times. Thankfully, they weren't in dangerous areas, but there's no doubt he should have had an assist today, and that makes it 6-2. And he really couple really good interceptions as well. That's odd. This is odd. This is very odd. I don't know why I'd hate a player that I assume you support. Shouldn't you be wanting them to do well? I don't know. I think that's weird. You think Phillips at the 6 will work? Nah, he's done. Good night, true citizen. What are your overall thoughts on our set pieces? My overall thoughts are that we have the delivery to score a lot of set pieces, but we do not have the personnel to attack those set pieces well. That's my conclusion. With Anderson and another midfielder, I don't think I agree personally. Depends on outgoings, of course. Savio isn't good enough. Again, he came on, should have an assist today. He wasn't good enough on the ball, but again, should have an assist and he was good defensively. Fulham did score some worldies, no doubt. Fulham were bad in the game, and that's mad. The finishing was great, but they were overall bad. Bench is not strong enough, says Pops Medallion. It's concerning how little he wants to use it. That camera from Villa plus... Oh, Kamara. I thought you said that camera. I was like, what? I don't like him off the left, but again, he should have had an assist. Good night to you, Nebs. I don't think so. He's just done, isn't he? I think that's right, Jack, because if it's falling to Chukwueze at that point, who's on a hat trick and has got hot feet at that moment, as you say, that could be 5-0, but for the interception. So I think he did do a really good defensive work today. His first season was better, but this idea that he's been like really bad or detrimental this season, I don't accept overall. There have been some frustrating games, but this idea that he's been like properly shit and detrimental to the side is not, I don't think that's fair. Take today's game. Like, people are saying that he was shit, and people are blaming him for like the capitulation or whatever, which is bizarre because he came on and 6 minutes later, he should have an assist and the game is 6-2. So Savio did well there. But for, as Jack said, but for Savio, they could arguably have made it 5-5 as well. His interceptions and off-ball work were really good, and that's what we needed at that time. So I don't think that's not even like a top 5 discussion point for me today. And if I am going to discuss Savio in the context of today's game, it's the sub was good, and he was good defensively. Also, like, low-key, I suspected this would happen, as it did against Feyenoord. We've scored 5 goals. This isn't an attacking problem. This is nothing to do with the attackers. We scored 5 goals. So, I don't think that's... It's interesting that that's the first people's thoughts when they enter the stream. They go, blah. That's interesting to me. That's interesting to me. Go check Donnarumma. Is Donnarumma's tweet going to annoy me? Is he going to say, I was sick for that 4th goal, mate? Let's have a look. You told me the Premier League was crazy, eh? Oh. Now is not the time to be being cute with your tweets, Don. Stop it. Stop it. You're not cute. Yeah, it's odd. All right, we're going to wrap it up here because we have been live for 90 minutes. And that's usually how long I like to keep these things. I'm going to go to bed. Let's all go to bed, not all at the same time, or in the same bed. Hey, good point, Bengal. If you want to know my thoughts on Bernard, I've done like my player ratings for the Finalysis app, so go rewind and see what I have said. Have a lovely rest of your evening, guys. Make sure you're leaving a like on the video on your way out. Big shout out once again to all the new people who've joined the channel and who are joining the Patreon as well recently. If you want to support me on either endeavour, then the links are there for you. go pick up a shirt if you want a physical product. There are many ways to support me. Some financially free, some less so. The next stream is going to be tomorrow evening on the Twitch. The next stream on the YouTube will be on Friday for Touchline Talk. The next YouTube video going out will be tomorrow, the post-match analysis for that shit show of a second half. So stay tuned for all of that content coming on the LNobbins YouTube and Twitch channel. Thank you so much for watching and your support as always. We won in the end. Huzzah! Goodbye, guys.